नमस्सर्वेभ्यः सर्वेषां स्वागतं प्रार्थनया प्रारम्भं कुर्मः गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा हरिः ओं तत्सत् स्वागतं तु अद्य अस्माभिः षष्ठ पाठे प्रहेलिका इति भागात् अग्रे गन्तव्यं पठितव्यं तु प्रहेलिकायां किमस्ति अस्मिन् पाठस्य प्रहेलिकायां न तस्यादिः न तस्यान्तः मध्ये यः तस्य तिष्ठति तवाप्यस्ति ममाप्यस्ति यदि जानासि तद्वद very easy to understand na tasya adihi. This is savarna dirgha sandhi, we call it na tasya adihi. So there is no beginning to it. Literal meaning, there is no beginning to it. Na tasya antaha, there is no end to it. Na tasya antaha, there is no beginning to it, there is no end to it. Madhye yaha tasya tishtati, in the middle who stands. Okay, it's a little cryptic over there. In the middle, yaha means whosoever. Okay, in the middle, whosoever stands. In the middle of that. In the middle of that which is having no beginning and no end, whosoever stands. Okay, it's a little open-ended if you take that meaning, because it seems to convey something incomplete. But let's see. Tavapyasti, tava api asti. Tavapi is savarna dirgha, tava plus api, and then api asti, apyasti, we call it yen sandhi. E plus a generates a yakara in place of e. So tavapyasti it will become. Okay, so tava api asti. Tava means you were, also is there. I mean, whatever is being said from the line above is there with you also, there belonging to you also. Mama api asti, mama api asti. It is there in me also, it belongs in me also. It is of mine too. Okay. Yadi janasi, in case you know, janasi being madhyama purusha ekavachana, so tvam janasi, literally there. Okay. Yadi tvam janasi, tad kim iti vada, tad vada is put. Tat vada, tad vada, there is something called jashtva sandhi, where the tat has softened to a tad to join the vakara. So tad vada. Okay. So tat vada, tad vada. So the Kavi is saying na tasya adihi na tasya antaha madhye yah tasya tishtati tavapyasti mamapyasti yadi janasi tadvada. So let's see what Samskrita Bharati explains the two meanings. The stanza conveys two meanings. If one leads to confusion, the other helps us to find out the answer. Meaning one, it has no beginning and no end. What is found in the middle is there in you and in me. What is it? Good literal translation. Okay, now a little bit more Panini and technical translation is this way. If you don't take na as not, if you instead take it as literally the letter na iti aksharam tasya adihi, na iti aksharam punaha tasya antaha. Madhye yaha artat yakarah iti, yaha iti paniniya prayoge यकारः इति स्वीकर्तव्यम् अर्थात् य अक्षरं तस्य तिष्ठति. तो आदौ न अन्ते न पुनः मध्ये य इति सूचना बहु साक्षात् दत्तमस्ति. There it has na in the beginning, na in the end, ya in the middle. You got it, I have it too. If you know what it is, tell me. It is probably one of the easier prahelikas. Okay, so anybody wants to volunteer to state the obvious?
Nayana.
Nayana, correct. Now, Nayana, what is the linga of Nayana? Anybody?
Napumsaka.
Napumsaka.
Linga.
So we have to say nayanam.
Nayanam.
In Sanskrit, we cannot state the pratipadika as an answer. So we go nayanam. Okay. All right. So न तस्य आदिः न तस्य हन्तः तस्ये मध्ये य अर्थात् यकारः तिष्ठति तव अपि तदस्ति तद् I have added तव अपि तदस्ति मम अपि तदस्ति यदि जानासि तर्हि किं तद् इति वद न यन नयन नयनम् इति अन्ते स्थापनीयम् अस्माभिः अस्तु वा न तस्यादिः न तस्यान्तः मध्ये यः तस्य तिष्ठति तवाप्यस्ति ममाप्यस्ति यदि जानासि तद्वद very easy. You can construct lots of prahelikas in this class, in this mold. Huh? So we can kanaka, for example. So kanaka can be constructed, or so any three-letter stuff. You can interesting ones you can construct, but it has to better be there for both of us. Kanaka is probably possible between two dhanikas maybe, but we can choose something more which is our body part. That's easier. Okay.
Mahoday.
Yes, Mahoday.
Mahoday, can you please repeat the tavapyasti sandhi once?
Tava plus api has tava ends in an akara. Api starts with an akara. So a plus a becomes a dirgha. It's called savarna dirgha sandhi. Varna is same, a plus a. So dirgha happens, a happens. Okay, the savarna dirgha sandhi, a plus a is equal to 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 a. So whatever pair clashes, dirgha a will come. Same way it happens for e, u, r, etc. L up to l, savarna dirgha sandhi exists. Except for l, the savarna dirgha is r only. Okay, that is the thing. So basically that is happening here. Tava api. Then ikara with asti akara. So e is the ending of api and a is the starting of asti. E plus a generates a sandhi called yan sandhi in Sanskritam, and that yan sandhi generates a yakara for e. Okay, so that's why yakara comes as a substitute for ikara. So yakara with akara that is already part of asti join together to make a new ya. So tavapyasti. Okay, is it clear?
Mahoday.
Same thing happens with mamapyasti. Tasyadihi also has a savarna dirgha. Tasyantaha also has a savarna dirgha. Like this. Just a minute, give me a second. Okay. Spam calls at this time on a Sunday morning. Sorry. Okay, so let's move on. Sangrahya Vishayaha. Oh, today we have a new goddess. Lakshmi, the one everyone wants. Lakshmi. Okay, see the spelling for Lakshmi. Okay, so we tend to think it is Hrisva Ikaranta. No, it is Lakshmi with the Visarga also included in the Prathama Ekavachana. The Pratipadika is Lakshmi Ikaranta Strilinga Lakshmi Shabda. Okay, it starts with the Visarga there. Okay, it's a special word. So Sangrahya Vishayaha, collectible items. Lakshmi नमस्तेस्तु महामाये श्रीपीठे सुरपूजिते शङ्खचक्रगदाहस्ते महालक्ष्मि नमोऽस्तु ते नमस्तेस्तु महामाये श्रीपीठे सुरपूजिते शङ्खचक्रगदाहस्ते महालक्ष्मि नमोऽस्तु ते. So now we see some features in this verse. Okay, first feature you see is this yes sign. Okay, I may have spoken about this before, but I will just speak again about it. This yes sign is for an elided akara. What is elision according to English grammar means disappeared. Okay, that which has disappeared. So for a disappeared akara, we use this avagraha chinha. What does avagraha in Sanskritam mean? Avagraha in Sanskritam means kshama, or what we say in Kannada baragala. Okay, तो जब बारिश नहीं होता है बहुत दिन, जो होता है देश में, उसको क्षाम कहलाते हैं हिंदी भाषा में. तो अवग्रह इति पर्यायपदमस्ति क्षामस्य. तो अत्र आकारस्य निष्कासनं भवति इति तच्चिह्नस्य नाम अपि अवग्रह इत्येव दत्तमस्ति. The absence of akara is being indicated with the chinha. Okay, that's why it's called avagraha chinha. Anyway, everything is meaningful, as you guys are already aware. So what is happening, why this akara elided, is due to a sandhi called purva rupa sandhi. Okay, this purva rupa sandhi, yeah. So this sandhi is when there is an A or a O as the padanta before. Namaste has a kara. Also, it can be okara also. Okay, Ramo, Ramo, Asti, Ramo, Asti, it will become. So then this akara is optionally elided if you are wanting to do that. So when we actually read this, we should not read that avagraha. There is no pronunciation for avagraha. So we go namastestu. Okay, namastestu, like that. But for writing, this avagraha chinha has been put in place to avoid potential confusion in our smaller brain. Our ancients didn't need this symbol. They were quite up there in the head, but we need it. So to help us, they have brought this chinha, you can say. So namaste astu, to show the purva rupa. Okay. Why it's called Purva Rupa Sandhi is because of the two rupas, Ekara and Akara, Akara has been taken out. So we call it Purva Rupa Sandhi. Okay. So that's why it's because only A remains. It is called Purva Rupa Sandhi. It's a kind of a lopa. You can call it a lopa. All right. So same thing in Namostu. See here O with avagraha. There here only an example is there for both. So namostu. Okay. So this rule is strictly for hrisva akara. Okay. Dirgha akara and all cannot take this purva rupa sandhi. Only hrisva akara, which is the beginning of a new word, and the padanta of the previous word has this A or O. Okay. All right. So I have given you a gyan that will actually be taught all the way forward in next level, but it's good to know because we encounter this, and not that we need to memorize it for purpose of exam, but it will be appreciated to know what it is. So okay, what does it say now? We have said all that thing about sandhi. Namaste itself is a sandhi. It is a called visarga sandhi with sakara or sattva. So visarga has become a sakara there. Namaha te splits up as namaha te, namaste. Okay, so the namaste that we say every day to the people that we encounter, we either use namaste or namaskara, right? So depending on the region's flavor. So that that is this. Te is to you. Tava te. Okay, so I offer my salutations to you. That's what it is literally saying. Okay, tvam shabdas form te. So namaha te astu, may it be there. He mahamaye. So this is sambodhana pratama. Mahamaya iti strilinga shabda. Shri Lakshmyaha पर्याय नाम महामाया इति. केवल श्रीलक्ष्म्याः इति न, अन्येषां देवीनामपि भवितुं शक्यते. अत्र अस्मिन् श्लोके तु महामाया इति श्रीलक्ष्म्याः पर्याय नाम तु तस्याः माया बहुरस्ति इति महामाया. We know about the maya of Lakshmi. So Mahamaye. Then Shri Pithe, again Shri Pitha is the paryaya using a quality of Sri Lakshmi, because she is literally the seat of wealth. You can kind of say that sense. Okay, there may be other derivations for that Shri Pitha, but one sense is she is the seat of prosperity. Shri is not necessarily wealth, you can call it prosperity. So seat of prosperity. Okay, and then Sura Pujita is another Paryaya Pada for Sri Lakshmi. So Sura, Sura, Asura, you know, no? Sura, Asura, and then we are there, Manavas. Okay, so Suras refers to gods. Okay, so she is worshipped by gods. Sura Pujita. Okay, so Suraihi Pujita. It's called Tritiya Tatpurusha Samasa. By Suras, she is Pujita. Suraihi Pujita ya sa Sura Pujita. It's called Tritiya Tatpurusha. Just to give you an introduction, we will learn about these samasa techniques in the fourth level. It's a little tough, that's why they push it all the way to fourth level for us. So Sura Pujite is Sambodhana Ekavachana of Sura Pujita. Okay, hey, so everywhere you can see Hey Mahamaye, Hey Shri Pite, Hey Sura Pujite. So it's like, you know, that pouring of bhakti in the form of stuti. Okay, so all right. But for us, the wonder is everywhere there is things to learn. Okay. And then Shanka, Chakra, Gada, Haste. So this is having two natures of samasas. So it's a one giant samasa of 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. Okay. The first three parts participate in something called Dvandva samasa. Okay, and the fourth one is uh, a variant. Okay, this is called Bahuvrihi Samasa. I will not go too much into that. So, but let's see how to read it. Okay, Shankahasta. Okay, Shankahasta, Chakrahasta, Gadahasta. So, Shankam yasyaha haste asti sha sa Shankahasta iti Bahuvrihi Samasa. That's she is the one having the Shanka in her hand. So, since it is referring to a third entity, neither to the Shanka nor to the Hasta, we call it Bahuvrihi Samasa, which is about a third entity. So, which is outside of these two words. It happens to be Sri Lakshmi, the third entity. So, Shankahasta, Chakrahasta, Gadahasta. So, she carries a Shanka in one of her hands, a Chakra in one of her other hands, and a Gada in one of her other hands. So these are two auspicious symbols, and this is just a reminder to us. I like this symbology a lot, actually. You start appreciating these things. Okay, of course, a lot of our goddesses are Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Hastas, so, but also Sri Lakshmi. In this case, the artist who has done a wonderful job. Why I call it wonderful is because he has put a little bit of natural thing in it by not making it highly aligned and symmetric. I like that in art. And then in place of Shankha Chakra, he has used Kamala. Okay, fine. Okay. Mahalakshmi, again, Hrisva Ikaranta here is for Sambodhana. So, Sambodhana Pratama of Lakshmi Shabda, which is actually Lakshmi is the Pratama Ekavachana. Sambodhana Pratama becomes Lakshmi. Hrisva Ikaranta, Lakshmi iti. Hey Lakshmi, Hey Mahalakshmi. Again, this is some kind of Tatpurusha Samasa. Okay. So, a great Lakshmi. Okay. All right, then Namaha Astu Te. So Namaha Te Astu, Namaha Te Astu has come twice. The repetition is the privilege of the Kavi. Normally, it's not always appreciated. Okay, uh, but what the Kavi has done is he has shown if he switches the place of Astu. See, Namaste Astu, Namostu Te. So he has played with the order, and through that it still fits the meter in the corresponding places, and also it introduces two different variant types of sandhi joints. So he likes that. Okay, so good, very good example for us beginners who are learning grammar. Okay. Namostu, sorry, Namastestu Mahamaye Shri Pite Surapujite Shankachakra Gada Haste Mahalakshmi Namostute. Okay, I forgot one thing. I told that the Shanka Chakra and Gada participate something in called Dvandva Samasa. I didn't introduce that. I split it up and showed as Shanka Haste, Chakra Haste, Gada Haste. But technically, first what is happening is Shankah cha chakrah cha shankachakrau. Shankachakrau cha gada cha shankachakra gadaha. Okay, Shankachakra gadaha yasyaha haste asti sa Shankachakra gada hasta he Shankachakra gada haste. This is the whole pravara of that constructing that samasa. Okay, so you will learn this beautiful art of how to split and understand these things in the fourth level. Please, all of you, stay connected with this course all the way to fourth level. It's wonderful things to learn. Okay, it's very colorful language. Okay, you won't find this kind of compaction ability and the power so easily in other. And also, finally, that helps the Kavi in such metric verse construction. The number of vectors with which the Kavi is working is quite amazing. Okay, so he needs to make sure Guru Akshara, Hrusva Akshara in correct places. He needs to make sure the number of letters are meeting the Pada Pura Pada requirement, and then he has to put some nice colorful meaningful words. He has to bring in other, you know, rasas into the whole thing, so that finally when we sing that, we get that bhakti bhava. That's also important. So all that does happen. It's all at play. Any questions at this point? Okay, all right, so let's look at the second one now. Okay, well, let us see the translation of Sanskrit Bharati. Salutations to you, O goddess Mahamaya, you who are worshipped by even gods. Salutations to you, O goddess Mahalakshmi, you who bear the conch, the discus, and the mace in your hands. It sounds so staid in English. It was so beautiful in Sanskrit, but translation is very accurate. Okay. They split it into two sentences because astu is there twice, so they took first sentence there and second sentence here. Okay, all right. Padmasanasthithe devi parabrahmaswarupini parameshi jaganmatar mahalakshmi namostute. It's got a lot of overlap with the previous one, right? Almost goes into the same stotra set almost, because Mahalakshmi Namostute Pada is identical in both. Okay, so this gives further other descriptions for Lakshmi. Okay, so Padmasana Sthita iti paryaya pad Lakshmyaha Padmasana Sthita iti पर्याय वाची भवति. तो पद्मासने या स्थिता अस्ति सा पद्मासन स्थिता. ओके, अथवा पद्मासने तिष्ठति या सा पद्मासन स्थिता इति. ओके, द वन हू स्टैंड्स ऑन पद्मासन. पद्मासन itself is a समस्त पद. पद्म एव आसनं पद्मासनं. I think it's called कर्मधारय samasa, I think. Okay, yeah, so padma eva asana. Padma itself is asana. What is padma? Padma is lotus. So where the lotus itself is the seat, and the one who is sitting in such a seat, saptami bahurihi, you can call it, because padmasane sthita. Yeah, okay, so that sense. And then again Sambodhana, He Padmasana Sthite. Technique is identical here, He Mahamaya, He Shripite, He Surupate, He Mahalakshmi. So everywhere there is a call out to Lakshmi. Listen to me, like that. Okay. He Devi, again Hrisva Ikara. Devi Shabda, but Hrisva Ikara for Sambodhana. He Devi. So just like He Saraswati, Namastubhyam, similar sense. Okay. Parabrahma Swarupini. Okay, swam rupam yasyaha swarupini. Okay, there is a samasta addition there. Then para brahma. Okay, the ultimate god. Okay, so she is literally the identical rupa in feminine form as para brahma. That sense. Okay. All right. So again Sambodhana. Parabrahma sarupini iti Lakshmyaha paryayavachi parantu रूपिणी इति संबोधने. हे परब्रह्म स्वरूपिणी. हे परमेशि. ओके, परमेशी इति padam. So Parameshi, Parama Ishatvam yasyam asti. One who has the leadership, ultimate leadership, you can say. Okay, so that sense is given to Paramesh. This is Sambodhana Pratama is Hrisva Ikaranta. Jaganmataha. See this Shabda, Matru Shabda has its own intricacies. It's not easy. Okay, so Jaganmataha Mahalakshmi. So in the samasta, the original visarga has come back as the pratipadika, and that visarga due to sandhi has gone into that arka sign, what we call the repha, leading repha sign. So Jaganmatar Mahalakshmi, like that, because Jaganmatar Mahalakshmi. Of course, you don't go like that. Jaganmatar Mahalakshmi, soft ra. Okay, Jaganmatar Mahalakshmi. Matru Shabdasya tatra iti bhavati. Tatra Matru Shabdasya kim r plus a. So r has gone into I don't know what is the rule under which that's happening. Maybe it's more Jaganmataha Visarga. Okay. Why Mataha? Jaganmataha. Jaganmataha is because Sambodhana Pratama. For example, Mata, Matru Shabda declines like this. Mata, Mataro, Mataraha. And then goes like that. Okay. So the Pratama Ekavachana is Mata, but it is not Mate. It is Mataha. Okay. He Mataha. Its pratamanta, Sambodhana pratamanta is Mataha. So Matru Shabda declines in Sambodhana pratama to Mataha. He Mataha, He Pitaha, He Brataha, like that. Okay. So that's the important thing to keep in mind. So here, it's not actually a samasta, so it's very clear. Jagan, He Jagan Mataha, He Mahalakshmi. No problem. So earlier also we saw all this. Namostute. So Padmasanastite Devi Parabrahmaswarupini Parameshi Jaganmatar Mahalakshmi Namostute. Very easy to understand. Oh Goddess Mahalakshmi, you are seated in the Padmasana posture. Okay, okay. They have taken in the sense of Padmasana posture, but Padmasane Sthite also can be taken. One who is sitting on lotus. That is also very much a quality of Lakshmi. Okay, so not an issue. Typically, we show Sri Lakshmi sitting or standing on a pink lotus and Saraswati on a white lotus for some reason. And also they are shown respectively in red and white color dresses. I guess that's very, very good reflective of the two Guna Vedas. One is Rajasika and one is Satvika. Huh? Yeah, very, very nice symbology. Lot of teachings even in the choice of goddesses dressings and all that. Very thoughtfully done. O Goddess Mahalakshmi, you are seated in Padmasana posture, the physical form of Supreme Being, Supreme Goddess, the Mother of the Universe. So all of them are address mode. That's why, hey, the like that. Oh, the physical form of Supreme Being. Like that. I bow to you is the final statement. So I have broken it up here so that we can understand nothing much. We have seen that even deeper a little bit to the extent that I could explain to you guys. Okay. Any questions? Okay. I think okay, we have a good attendance today. We have some new students. Nice. Samskrita Vangmaya Parichayah. So as usual in this section of every patha, they are giving us some summary of the various kritis and kavyas and rachanas and natakas, etc. of Samskrita Vangmaya. Okay, so they're introducing us, and because it's at Pravesha level, they're doing it all in Samskrita, in English. As we move up the ladder, no, you will see this similar thing switch over to Sanskritam later. Okay, in the later levels of the exam. Okay, it's more enjoyable that way because some new learning apart from just knowing the details will happen by actually reading the Sanskritam sentences. Okay, Bhasa is the Kavi being talked about. Okay, and one of his kritis summary is given. Okay, so lest someone think that everything in Sanskritam is about stuti, prayer, praising of God, and such things. No, no, no. It is one of the most colorful literary world where all laukika bhavas are very well represented. So you will find romance, you will find love, you will find disappointment, you will find fights, all rasas coming in the kavya. Okay, and it is one of the most free thinking literary world where there was no nirbandha. So there are some verses that I am not able to just quote like that. It is told that a kavi is greater than even God, because even God has to follow certain dharmas, but a kavi seems to have no bound. He's unbounded. That's how a kavi's freedom is described in the Samskrita Vangmaya. So that liberty was there for people of the Paddhati, of course. When others take that liberty is when we get hurt. Okay. Bhasa occupies a distinguished position in Sanskrit literature. Bhasa, aged to around 300 BC, quite long ago, has compiled 13 plays. Okay. See, he's largely a play composer. Okay. Among his plays, Swapnavasavadattam, so difficult to read in English. Swapnavasavadattam is very, actually it's called Swapnavasavadattam. That's why English is a wrong language for writing Sanskrit letters. So what happens? Actually, the name of the kavya is not Swapnavasavadattam. Swapnavasavadattam, the Asavadatta is the name of the one of the protagonist ladies, and Swapnavasavadattam, the Napumsaka form, Swapnavasavadattam Natakam Tatha Patitavyam Asmabhihi, is very well known. This play depicts the life of King Udayana, Queens Vasavadatta, see, she comes here, and Padmavati. Okay, so three important characters to remember: Udayana, Vasavadatta, and Padmavati. Right. So Vasavadatta clearly was the leading lady. Padmavati was somebody that came into the picture later in the order in which it's given. All right. And it's nice to see that leading lady gets the name in the kavya. Rarely happens, right? The usurper gets the gets the title. So this is not in Bollywood mold. Some regions of Udayana's kingdom fell into the hands of his enemies. Sadly, in order to regain them, the help of Padmavati's elder brother was necessary. Rather, it became necessary. So he had to take help of a neighbor uh, king who happened to be Padmavati's elder brother. This help could be obtained only through Udayana's marriage with Padmavati. So you know that there was a paddhati that the kings used to intermarry between the different kingdoms, and this was a very good arrangement because it bonded them as bandhus, and it strengthened the inter-state support system that maintained. Okay, so good. So this help could be obtained only through Udayana's marriage with Padmavati. As long as Queen Vasavadatta was with Udayana or with him, Udayana's marriage with Padmavati was unthinkable. So he was not like a normal Kshatriya king who was anyway allowed a whole set of wives as a Kshatriya king. But he was so devoted, and Vasavadatta was so devoted to him, there was no possible thought of a second marriage for this good king Udayana. For the good of the country, the Queen Vasavadatta herself and the minister Yaugandharayana, another name to now pitch in and remember, Yaugandharayana. Okay, so nice name he has got. Okay, thought out a plan. So they had some plan to save the kingdom. It was bigger for Vasavadatta to save the kingdom than worry about being the sole consort of Udayana. So sacrificial points are being mentioned here. Kshatra dharma meant that. True Kshatra dharma meant that. Put the country above oneself. According to the plan, a rumor was spread that Vasavadatta was burnt in a fire at Lavanaka. So another name to remember, Lavanaka. Lavanaka, Kshametam, there is a dirgha. Lavanaka. So na, when there is a dot below n, we have to go to ta tha da da na. So Lavanaka. So a rumor. So they created a false story that she got burnt, and the king was made to believe it. All right. Yaugandharayana then disguised himself as an ascetic. Okay. Ascetic mean like a sage, a Brahmin, something like that, and left Vasavadatta with Padmavati. Wow, what a plan. So he literally took her as if she was a maid or something like that to Padmavati, who was the eventual target for linking up the two kingdoms so that one could help the other. So left her Vasavadatta with Padmavati, saying that she was his sister separated from her husband. Nothing wrong, fairly good half truth by Yogandarayana. Okay, so separate from her husband, that much we know is also true. Then the marriage between Udayana and Padmavati was celebrated. Okay, so all the colorful story of how that ensued is lost to us in this summary. So one day when we are able to read, it will be nice to read the original. And remember, this whole thing is like a play. So it is there in conversations and scenes and all that. Beautiful techniques. One day, thinking that Padmavati was asleep in the garden house, Vasavadatta sat by the side of sleeping person. So he actually comes to the queen's house where Padmavati would have moved in along with, I guess, Vasavadatta acting as her consort or whatever, help, aid, whatever. So one of the Sakhis. So Vasavadatta comes to a lady who is, in a cloth, cloth covering. I guess he doesn't realize. He thinks it's Padmavati and sat by the side of the sleeping person. Okay. Actually, it was Padmavat Vasavadatta sat by the side of the sleep. Okay. Vasavadatta comes thinking Padmavati was asleep. It happens to be Udayana. Okay. It was the other way. Vasavadatta was very much awake. She came and sat next to a person who was sleeping in the garden house. Ah, gazebo. Beautiful. So Padmavati, it was, she thought it was, but it happened to be Udayana himself. Okay, massive confusion in her. Anyway, he uttered the name of Vasavadatta, whom he saw in his dream. This poor fella, he could not get, he was still attached mentally to Vasavadatta, so she came in his dreams and he happened to mutter. Okay, at once Vasavadatta left the place. She was obviously shocked and she left the place, probably half distressed, half happy. You can imagine her plight. Okay, with the assistance of Padmavati's brother, Udayana's army defeated the enemies. Good. So the success of the story. Thereafter, when Yaugandharayana came to the court with Vasavadatta, the king came to know about the plan made and executed by the minister and the queen. So Yaugandharayana arranges a reversal of the status quo by revealing that he hatched this plan, etc., brings Vasavadatta back to the king. Obviously, Padmavati also would have been convinced about it. Maybe she knew the truth. She was always a Kshatra Kanya, so maybe she knew the truth. Who knows? The king came to know about the plan made and executed by the minister and the queen herself, Vasavadatta herself. Thus, in brief, is the story of Swapnavasavadattam. Happy ending. Okay. All right. So the main rasa is, you can see, is what you call romantic rasa. Hmm? The character of Vasavadatta is noble. Okay. Romance, and with romance comes viraha. Also is there. Udayana's viraha bhava. Okay. The character of Vasavadatta is noble. Okay, all right. Because she sacrificed her own position. Yaugandharayana is a minister who is devoted to his country, devotion to the country. The style of the play is very lucid. Even those who have an average knowledge of Sanskrit, very encouraging for me, can read and understand this drama. Definitely, I should take it up. So here is a Amar Chitrakatha summary of it. One of the celebrated series that taught us many of our Puranic stories in colorful ways in our childhood. I don't know, probably relegated to dust bowls of libraries in the nobody visits nowadays. And here's a beautiful depiction uh, of Udayana with Vasavadatta before the separation, I guess. Nice. All right. So Udayana, Padmavati, Vasavadatta. But Padmavati is there in between these two, but eventually it's Vasavadatta. All right. Any questions? Okay. I think I need to ask the questions. Right. So what I did, because like okay, our curiosity is piqued. Piqued, that one, piqued. Peaked also. Peakedly piqued. Okay, so I don't know how to pronounce those words in English. So I was definitely interested, saying let me take the chance and pick up a piece of this beautiful kavya to see, hey, is it that easy? And it's not too bad, you see. Swapnavasavadattam Moola Bhagasya Parichayah. Okay. Sutradaraha. See, this is literally from the beginning picked up. Sutradaraha. Sutradara is a guy who introduces the storyline in a nataka, in a drishya nataka. He comes to the stage first, and then does some prayers and all that. So this is the Mangala Shloka. भृत्यैर्मगधराजस्य स्निग्धैः कन्यानुगामिभिः कन्यानुगामिभिः पद्मावतीर्पूर्णौ पद्मावतीर्णपूर्णौ पद्मावतीर्णपूर्णौ वसन्तक्रमौ भुजौ पाताम्. I am not going to be able to offer all the exotic meanings of that, but so some announcement he is making. Evam Arya Mishran Vignapayami. So like this, I ask all the respectful audience that has gathered here. Aye Kim nu kalu mai Vignapana Vyagre Shabda iva Shruyate Anga Pashyami. So obviously from the backstage some noise comes. Okay, as the Sutradhara is doing this reading, some noise comes and he wonders loudly, अरे क्या मैं ऐसा विज्ञापन करते वक्त कुछ शब्द आ रहा है? अस्तु अस्तु, देखेंगे ऐसा. बहुत स्टाइल बहुत बढ़िया है. तो नेपथ्ये, so नेपथ्ये, see this, how the Kavi has literally put what should happen behind the screen. So Ussaraha ayya, Ussaraha. So this is actually Prakrita. So this Kavya is a mixture of Samskrita and Prakrita. So Prakrita was very much a language used alongside Sanskritam. So whereas the court language of the Kshatriyas and Amatyas, etc., was this Sanskritam, the language of the normal other people, supportive people that were there around was Prakrita. Ussaraha ayya, Ussaraha, that actually means Utsarata Aryaha Utsarata. So alert, hail, gentlemen, alert, get up, wake up, like that, something like that. It sounds. So some hailers, some people hailing some notice. So this is our Sutradhara. So Sutradhara, Bhavatu, Vijñatam. Okay, again he tries to start. You see, Bhrutyaihi Magadharajasya Signaihi Kanya Anubhagam. I took the opportunity to split it, that's all. Kanya Anugami Bihi. So Kanya Anugami means one who is following the young lady, something like that. And Magadharajasya Snigdaihi. I don't know, I can't recall what is Snigdaihi. Bhrutyaihi, by the helpers of Magadharaja, as they were following the Kanya, I mean, they were obviously guarding some Kanya. Grish, Grishtam Utsaryate Sarvas Tapovane Vanagato Janaha. So everywhere people are seen mealing around, something like that. I can gather rough meaning like this. So this is the color. I don't want to keep going, but you see I did the color annotation to show the variation. So verses are in blue, utterances are in black, and Prakruta is in orange, and back end scene guidances from the Kavi are in purple in brackets. So, and the translation of the Prakruta into Samskrita is there in gray. So we can literally bring back and imagine the beauty of this place. So the next scene is going with Bhatau, Yogandarayana, Vasavadatta, Yogandarayana, etc. Okay. So yeah, I'm imagining Vasavadatta like this here. I don't know. Any questions? Huh. Okay. So just to know the color of Sanskrit literature, it is nice to see the source. This is completely not part of your textbook. Don't worry too much if you didn't understand. Am I audible even?
Yes,
Am I
sir.
Yes,
okay?
sir.
Yes,
Thanks.
sir.
Otherwise, I guess you guys would have
Yes, sir.
shouted by now. Okay. Okay. So we will go to the Katha Bhaga today. Okay. So I somehow didn't put any questions for this, but you guys know pretty much. You have to remember the names of the characters, the Kavya name, the Kavi, potentially his era a little bit, potentially remember these critical numbers like 13 place, and then remember the character names, remember the storyline. It's nice anyway, so it should not be too difficult. Okay. Questions will come around that, and questions will be in English. So let's, Bagini.
Snigdha is friend, no? Snigdha is friendly, no?
Snigdha actually means sticky sense is there.
Ah, yes.
Snigdaihi kanyanugamibihi bhrutyaihi magadharajasya snigdaihi kanyanugamibihi. So those who are closely stuck to that whatever Kanya who was being taken from one place to another, something like that. Padmavati Purnau. So I'm not able to make out what is this Tirna Purnau. But Padmavati is very much the character who was probably the Kanya. Vasanta Kramau Bujau Patam. So this is a prayer. Okay. So may the blessings very colorful because Vasanta is there, so I don't know what is Vasanta Vasanta Kamrau. Vasanta Kamrau. I don't know whether I have a spelling error there. Kramau or Kamrau, I don't know. Anyway, I can explore further if there is interest to analyze this. It's not like so sarala as they made out, but I can get the overall sense. There is a prayer in the Patam. Patunaha. I have seen so many. So Patam must be another variant, Lakara declension. So, yeah. Astu. Katha. Daivameva Param. So let us see who can read it for us. We have a new person. Maybe he can help us today. Balwant Surti Varya.
Okay, let me try.
Great, sir. Please lead away slowly. The style we do is you read a sentence and pause, and if there is anything, I'll explain. Like that, we proceed. Huh?
Okay. Correct me wherever I am wrong, please, sir.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Yeah.
Ekah ahitundikah asit.
Very good. So, Daivam Eva Param is the name of the Katha. So, Daivam, Deva we know. Deva is God. What is Daivam? Daivam is that which is the nature of Deva. Okay, Daivam. Okay. So, what is Daivam? Something divine. That's all. So, Daivam becomes divine. In fact, divine is from Daivam. I would say. So, Daivam Eva Param. Divine indeed is the ultimate. Okay. That means divinity rules in the end. That's what it's trying to state. Okay. All right. So Ekaha Ahitundikaha Asit. So Ahitundika, I don't know how the construct is coming from, what is the engineering behind this word, but this fella is called Ahitundika, snake charmer. Okay. Ahitundika asit. So one snake charmer was there. Once upon a time is implicit. Pura is implicit. Continue, sir.
Saha sarpan gruhitva jivanam karoti sma.
Correct. So that fellow uh, capturing snakes as karmapada of grahana karya. So sarpan grihitva jivanam karoti sma. So he used to make his living by capturing snakes. Okay, even today that is a required profession in our cities where they are ultimately afraid of even the smallest snake. Poor thing. Continue, sir.
Ekada saha ekam sarpam anayati.
Well read. So once ekada. So ekaha is one fella, masculine. Ekada is a time reference. Once upon, once. It's like an event reference. Once that fella, that is saha, ahitundakaha has become saha in sarvanama reference. That fella, ekam sarpam karma. So ekaha became ekam to go with sarpam, which is in dvitiya ekavachana as karma pada. Ekam sarpam anayati. He brings one snake. Okay, from wherever. Continue, sir.
Sarpam petikayam sthapayati cha.
The same sarpa is again a karma pada here. Sarpaha is the pratama ekavachana. Sarpam, saha is again carrying forward. Saha, tam sarpam. Okay, that sarpa. Okay, petikayam, strilinga, petika shabda. So petikayam, sitayam. Okay, in the petika, saptami ekavachana. Okay, in the petika. Okay, sthapayati cha. He puts it. Cha is to say, and he brings and puts. So the cha goes with anayati, sthapayati cha. So he puts it in a box. Continues.
Pratidinam sarpasya pradarshanam karoti.
So every day, pratidinam, every day of the snake, the show he does. Very straightforward Sanskritam. Pratidinam sarpasya pradarshanam karoti. Pradarshana has the sense of to a audience kind of thing. Okay, continues.
Jivanam karoti.
So he used to earn his livelihood this way by capturing snakes that would trouble households and then using them in a harmless way, at least not to their life, to show his skills of this called pungi in Kannada. I don't know what it is called in Hindi. So this
Pungi
pungi
only.
only. Oh, pungi only. So, correct. So with that pungi, basically with the movement, he will make the sarpa dance. It's a wonderful art. So all right, continue, sir.
Kadachit ahitundikah anyam gramam agachat.
Agachat. Hrisvakara. Agachat. Okay. Kadachit. So ekada is once. Okay. Kadachit means sometime. Kada simply means when. Okay. Whenever. I mean, sometime. Like that. Sometime. Okay. Similar sense to ekada, but it's a different color. So ek bar is ekada. Kadachit is kabhi. Kabhi. That sense we use. Right? Ahitundikaha, our same fella, Anyam Gramam Agachat. He went to another village. Agachat Lang Bhutakala. So Gachati of Lat becomes Agachat in Bhutakala Ekavachana. Lang Agachat. Continue, sir.
Tasya patni putraha api agachan.
Who else went? His wife, Patni, one of the kartas of this sentence, and other kartas are his putras. We don't know how many, but putraha means minimum 3. So rich fella. Okay, not like us poor fellows with one offspring. So tasya patni putraha api agachan. His wife and multiple sons also went. Must be for some fun. Continue, sir.
Sarpaha petikayam eva baddha asit.
Poor Sarpa. Usually they can last quite long without supplements, but anyway, whatever reason, so it stayed in the Petika only. This particular Sarpa that he had brought. Petikayam. See, in the petika. Same, why there is a bindu there and a halanta makara here. There was sakara, so bindu. Here there is a ekara, which is a swarakshara, so halanta makara. Petikayam eva, in the petika only. Baddaha asit. Baddaha becomes a qualifier to sarpaha. Bound fellow he was. Okay. So the snake in the box, indeed, bound fellow he was. Literal translation, butler English. You line up Queen's English after that. That's easy game for all of us. Continue, sir.
Panchadinani abhavan.
5 days happened. Okay, abhavan, past. So 5 days happened. This is how simple phrase, right?
Yes.
Nice. Continue, sir.
Ahitundikaha na agachat.
Here it is agachat. Okay. What is the difference between agachat and agachat? Very simple. In agachat, one upasarga has been added. Okay. You remember gachati, agachati. You remember. So a plus gachati, ang upasarga it is called. The ng is only technical letter. So a is what remains. A plus gachati, agachati. Comes. Instead of gachati goes, it becomes comes. Same way, you can add the ang upasarga to agachat also. So here, what has happened? Ang plus agachat. Same form of dhatu is there here, agachat. Plus a plus a becomes a again. Savarna dirgha sandhi of a plus a, hrisva a, is one single a. So the a of upasarga and the a, which is the leading letter of agachat, joined to make a single a, agachat. So we have to split it as a plus agachat. Okay, that means he came in the past. So he did not come. Na agachat. So negation. Okay. So 5 days happened and this snake charmer did not come. Continue, sir.
Sarpasya aharaha eva nasti.
So of the snake, the food itself is not there. Okay. So it doesn't have any food. If you remember, they don't take water like that. They take moisture through their food. Continue, sir.
Saha petikataha bahihi gamnaya pratyanam akarot.
Punah.
Saha
Prayatnam.
prayatnam akarot.
Prayatnam. Okay. Saha petika ataha. This taha technique is called an alternative to using the Panchami. Panchami Vibhakti. Panchami Vibhakti is the source Vibhakti. See, Vrikshat Palam Pathati. Like that we use. We have not yet come to that in these lessons. We will come there in the next few lessons. But Vrikshat Palam Pathati. Panchami use of Vrikshat. Or you can simplify. In Sanskritam there is this taha suffix. There is a name to it. Tasil Pratyaya. Correct. I think it's called Tasil Pratyaya. That's what my brain tells me. So when you use this Tasil, Paninian title is Tasil. And when you use this Tasil Pratyaya, you can add Taha to a Pratipadika to make it as the Panchami equivalent. It's a cheap technique, simple technique available. So Petika Taha, Nagarataha, Mahilataha, Purushataha, Balataha, Balakataha, any number of Pratipadikas, you can bring Taha to it to make it like Balakat, Purushat, Mahilayaha, like that. Saha Petikataha Bahihi Gamanaya Prayatnam Akarot. So that Sarpaha from the Petika outside for the sake of going. This Gamanaya. Okay, this is for the sake of sense of. So Gamanam going, Gamanaya for the sake of going. Okay, Gamanaya. So Prayatnam Akarot. Effort he did. Past tense. Kridatus past tense. Lang. Akarot. Okay. So he tried to go out. That's what it's saying here. Okay. Continues.
Saha bubukshitaha asit.
So saha sarpa bhubukshitaha. Bhubukshitaha means very hungry. So it's actually a visheshana to saha or to the sarpa. So bhubukshitaha means a masculine entity that is very hungry. So the sarpa, a masculine entity that is very hungry, it was. That's the sense of the grammar. Okay, continue.
Ataha shaktihi nasti.
Therefore, strength is not there. Okay.
Vifalaha abhavat.
He became Viphala. Why? What is the Vaiphalya? Vaiphalya is the Vriddhi guna of Viphalata. Okay, Viphalata is one way of saying the guna. Vaiphalya is another. Several roads to derive colorful words. So why he became Viphalaha? Because he had no Shakti. What was the Viphalata about? To get out. He was unable to get out. That's all. Okay. Vipalaha abhavat. Bahihi gantum vipalaha abhavat. We heard. So outside to go, he became failure. Thanks, Varya. Well read. Let's bring someone else for the second half practice. I'm using this story as an opportunity for you guys to practice reading, as you guys know.
Now, it was nice for me to know that I can read correctly, because I was never sure till now.
No, you're doing very
Yes.
well. You're doing very well, Varya. Please join us for the balance
Yes,
class.
yes. In fact, I missed the earlier ones. I am not very regular with WhatsApp, so I missed the earlier ones. I will be regular now.
Okay, sir. Okay. We use WhatsApp only for important communication. No noise. You
Yes,
can
yes.
see our group. So let's invite Monica Varye.
Yes, Mahodaya.
Bhagini.
Yeah.
So last of couple of paragraphs for you.
Okay. Tada पेटिका समीपे एकः मूषकः आगच्छत्.
Tada at that time. See, ekada visa. Now tada at that time. Ekada once. Okay. Tada at that time. Petika samipe. So again, samastapada technique. Petikayaha samipe. It's called petikayaha samipam. Petika samipam is the pratamanta ending of that word. Petika samipe is the saptamyant. So petika samipe, near the petika, near the box. Ekah mushakah, one mouse. Agachat, he came. Okay, continue.
सः पेटिकाम् अपश्यत्.
He saw the box. They cannot resist anything that is sealed. Petikam apashyat. Why do we blame the mushaka? We people are also capable of same. Continue.
पेटिकायां भक्ष्याणि सन्ति इति मूषकः अचिन्तयत्.
Petikayam. So see Saptami Ekavachana. In the Petika, Bhakshyani, eatable items, Santi are there. So, iti means so, Mushaka achintayat. So the rat thought. Continue.
रन्ध्रं करोमि इति सः निश्चयम् अकरोत्.
Randram karomi aham. Aham is implicit in karomi. So whole I will do. So he determination he did. Continue.
अनन्तरं सः रन्ध्रं कृत्वा अन्तः प्रवेशम् अकरोत्.
After that, after making the determination that I will make a whole, that same mushaka, the whole having done. So randram is now a karma pada. Okay. So aham randram karomi, aham karta, randram karma. Randraha iti pullinga ekavachane tat. Randram iti dvitiyayam. So don't think that when you see this randram, no, I am looking at an apumsaka shabda. Analyze the kriya pada. First immediate thing you do is any sentence is kriya pada. Karomi, uttama purusha ekavachana. So cannot be randra. Aham is the karta. Aham karomi. Who is aham? Mushakaha is the aham. So Randra cannot be the karta. Randra must be the karma of the karya. So Randram karomi, bhojanam karomi, whatever. Anantaram bhojanam karomi, Randram pratamam karomi. Iti saha nischayam akarot. Astu. Did you read this sentence, Bhagini?
Yes.
Sorry. Anantaram, afterwards. See, what is this construction of Anantaram? Another alert for all of us, Kannadigas especially. In Kannada, we keep using Nantara, Nantara, Nantara like that and we forget the Akara. Okay? There is no word like Nantara in Sanskritam. Okay? It's a apabramsha of Anantara of Sanskritam. Our usage of Nantara, Hindi में भी नंतर नंतर बोल जाता है यूज नहीं करते अनंतर तो An plus antaram is anantaram. An means not or without negation prefix to a noun. Okay. Antara. Antara we know is gap. So anantaram means without gap. Okay, without gap. So immediately afterwards is the secondary meaning that comes from without gap, right? Without pause means immediately. Saha randram krutva. So he made a hole. He was an expert at that. Antaha pravesham akarot. Inside entry he did. So if you see antaha, bahihi has come a few times, right? Bahihi also came antaha. So these are all avyaya shabdas that we just recently learned. Lots of them everywhere. Okay. Pravesham akarot. He entered. Continue, Bhagini.
मूषकः सर्पस्य मुखे एव अपतत्.
So he fell literally in the mouth of the snake. Daivam only. Continue.
सर्पः मूषकम् अखादत्.
So promptly the sarpa dispatched the mushaka. It's a word dispatch is better. Actually, in Sanskritam, such words are used. Here they have kept it very simple for us. Everywhere to use khad again is boring, right? So Kavis don't ever repeat like that so easily. They will use some words like dispatched and things like that even in Sanskritam. Just like in Hindi, you guys say nipta diya like that. Similar things are there in Sanskritam. Continue, madam.
तेन रन्ध्रेण एव बहिः अगच्छत्.
So by the very same hole, two in one, by the very same hole, tena randrena eva, tenaiva randrena. That's another more colorful way. Kavis put the eva along with tena, sir. Tenaiva randrena. It's even more colorful. Okay. Bahihi agachat. He went out.
अहो सर्पस्य सौभाग्यं मूषकस्य दौर्भाग्यम्.
So this is our what you call one line summary of the story.
Moral of the story.
Moral, more than moral, this is almost like a summary, but here actually it is like what is the moral is you should not tinker with things that are not meant for you is the moral really. Anyway, aho, ayyo, see this aho is exactly like ayyo, okay, of south. So sarpasya saubhagyam, the what you call benediction subhag good fruits of sarpa and sad fruits for the mushaka like that. Bhagya is again another thing that's I can't find a good English word for. That's like dharma, it's very difficult. Fortune, yeah, correct. Fairly decent mapping, yeah. Saubhagyam, Durbhagyam. Yeah. Dhaurbhagyam. See, guys. Subhagyam, Durbhagyam is the first primary derivation. Subhagyam, good fortune. Durbhagyam, bad fortune. What is Saubhagyam? It is a growth, we call it. That is that which is Subhagyam, Saubhagyam. That means the dharma of Subhagya is Saubhagyam, Dhaurbhagyam, like that they grow. Okay. It's a little more deeper sense. The Atma of Durbhagyam is Daurbhagyam. Okay. Hridaya Hardika, like that. We grow like that. Okay. We'll move for a break now. Okay, so I think we have a few questions, so we can answer the questions quickly and take a quick break. Ahitundikaha kutra agachat?
Ahitundikah anyam gramam agachat.
Anyam gramam agachat. Correct. That is the most appropriate. Anyam gramam agachat. This one. Kadachit ahitundakaha anyam gramam agachat. So petika samipam kaha agachat.
Petika samipam ekah mushakah
Durbhagyah mushakah. We can now add that qualifier. Petika samipam ekah durbhagyah mushakah agachat. Okay. Kaha kasya mukhe apatat.
Mushakah sarpasya mukhe apatat.
Sarpasya mukhe apatat. Very good. Don't say tasya. Use sarpasya here. Okay. That's how it is there even here. Mushakah sarpasya mukhe. Eva is not needed when you answer these kind of things. Eva is because in the context of the story it makes sense. So you can just say Mushakah sarpasya mukhe apatat. Like that. Okay. All right. Sarpah kam akhadat.
सर्पः
सर्पः
मूषकम्
मूषकम्
अखादत्
Mushakam
अखादत्.
akadat. Very simple questions. I would have constructed little more complexly, but they have kept it very straightforward. Okay. So nice. I guess we enjoyed this story. So we'll take a water break and go to the next story, next learning after the water break. Okay. 2-3 minutes. Let's gather
Mahoday,
back.
just for a second, if you will display the previous slide once again.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay. We'll take a break.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, welcome back to our relentless learning. Samskrita Vyavahara. Okay, so today's Samskrita Vyavahara is about Katham and few other things. Let's see what comes. So the use of Katham. Prashnavachaka. Okay, so how to ask questions like that. Okay, Katham is how. Okay, all right. So study the following questions and answers. They say Vatavaranam samichinam asti. Vatavaranam katham asti. I am adding a little bit color with the tonality because that's very critical. Vatavaranam samichinam asti. Vatavaranam katham asti. Natakam atyuttamam asti. Natakam katham asti. So what is happening? So here there is a statement. The environment Vatayaha avaranam. I think it's Vatayaha. I'm not sure. Vataha is also heard. Anyway, so avaranam means the space in which something is contained, and Vataha means the wind. So it's been Rudi Artha of this has been the environment. Okay. So samichinam, proper. We had got introduced to that earlier. Asti. So the environment is proper. It means the weather is good. Also could be one simple derivation. Vatavaranam katham asti. How is the weather? Like that. Okay, so how is the katham? Okay. In fact, sometimes we just go kathamasti. We join them together with the halanta makara and akara joining. It becomes samyuktakshara. So kathamasti, like that we go. Only when there is santi we split it. Katham santi, like that. Okay. Ha. You, asti is not the only dhatu. You can put other kriya padas there. Anyway, natakam atyuttamam asti. So the play is brilliant, very superior. Natakam katham asti. How is it to play? Gayakah samyak gayati. The singer sings properly. Samyak is proper, like that. Similar to samichinam. Okay. Gayakah katham gayati. How does the singer sing? Kurmaha mandam chalati. So the tortoise, he moves slowly. So this is kriya visheshana. Okay. It's actually similar to shanaihi, which is kind of also an avyaya fixated apparently in tritiya. Typically kriya guna vachakas, kriya visheshanas tend to be in tritiya, right? We saw that. Vegena gacchati, like that we saw. See here, mandam is like a avyaya pada, so it's fixated, you can say, mentally as a kriya visheshana in a potential tritiya there, but it's, since there is no declension, it is what it is. Kurmaha katham chalati. How does the tortoise move? Vimanam shighram gacchati. The aeroplane, okay, fast it goes. So actually, the construction of Vimana is V Upasarga is there and Mana is to measure. So I don't know how it's constructed, in what sense the Vimana came. But typically Vimana is a name in first in Sanskritam is for the top Gopura portion of a temple. Is called Vimana. Okay. It is that pyramidal quadrangular pyramid portion of the temple top, Shikhara. Okay, in fact Shikhara is another name for it, right? So that's the name. Somehow it ended up also being the name for an aeroplane because there was a description of this flying device of similar shape. So that's how the corollary happened. It started getting called Vimanam. Okay, so doesn't necessarily mean anything about flying, the word Vimana. Okay, in fact, the better word would be Antarikshagami, Antarikshayanam, something like that. If you can say Lokayanam, we should say Antarikshayanam for aeroplane. Okay, all right. Shighram gacchati. So again, Kriya Visheshana, but in a fixated sense. Okay, Vimanam katham gacchati. So more or less, if you see, this katham is asking about the Kriya Visheshana, largely about what is the nature of the Kriya. That is very important. So it's not like kaha, ka, kim, which was about the person, right? It was fixated on the karta or the noun or whatever different vibhaktis, like kim, kena, like all those variants. But here it is more about Kriya Visheshana, katham. Okay, so vatavaranam katham asti. So we have to describe the visheshana for the being. Okay, like that. And in this case for singing, in this case for moving, in this case for going. These kind of variations. Katham, found in the above questions, is one of the 7 interrogative words of Sanskrit language. There are a few more. They are trying to teach us 7. This is called Sapta Kakaraha. Okay, in our Dashadina Shibiram also we teach it very brilliantly. One of the days focus for a while will be on this Saptakakara exercise. Okay, so Shibiram is a wonderful experience, guys. If you can attend a physical Shibiram, nothing like that. Okay, 7 interrogative words of Sanskrit language. It means how. The reply to it is normally well, good, suitable, surely, fast, slow, proper, many number of things. Okay, put 10 questions using katham and find their answers for exercise. Okay, So I can ask a few questions and maybe we can crowdsource some answers from you guys. Okay. Suryah katham asti? Any answers?
उष्णम् अस्ति
ठीक है, उष्णम अस्ति, सूर्यः उष्णम अस्ति. वेल डन.
सूर्यं प्रकाशमान अस्ति.
सूर्यः प्रकाशमानः अस्ति. लवली. सूर्यः प्रकाशमानः अस्ति. What she brought in, the Visheshana, she put it as a Visheshana to the Surya himself and then put asti, which is another way of going about it. So प्रकाशमानः सूर्यः अस्ति or सूर्यः प्रकाशमानः अस्ति. Shining he is. Very nice. Okay. So like this, you guys can try some more exercises. See, so quickly for even a simple question, you guys could derive. So you have the answers and how to do it. So you just practice these things. There are reasons why Sanskrit Bharati is asking her to do these exercises. Okay. So let us, for example, Mama Mata Katham Asti. Mama Mata Karunamayi Asti. So you can give her some nice qualities. Okay. This kind of extension. Okay. So here Karunamayi, instead of being Tritiya Vibhakti Asayudu Asti, has gone in as a Visheshana to Mata. Also fine. Okay. Or you can always Sundari Asti. Beautiful she is. This kind of things also you can add qualify.
Dayalu asti.
Huh?
Dayalu asti.
Dayalu asti. Dayalu स्त्रीलिङ्गे कथं प्रायः दयालु इत्येव. सम्यक्. I have to check whether it remains invariant between strilinga and pullinga. Okay. So for example, the question for such a thing, actually I should have reversed this. Bhavataha artava mata katham asti, like this. Okay. All right. So since I already have, I'll open up the prototypes. Samskritasya pathanam ruchikaram asti. Okay, could be one thing. Katham asti, ruchikaram asti. I should really reverse. For the next batch, I will be teaching it the other way around. Okay. Then aranye mrugaha surakshitaha santi. So they are protected properly. As long as people don't get involved, they are protected, right? We know that. They don't have any fear of tigers in the end. The tiger is there for a reason. So aranye mrugaha katham santi. How are they? Rama Lakshmanau Dhirau Shurau Cha Astam. So in all these places I am using actually like a Visheshana to the Karta. The questions are that way. So it's not, because if you cannot do too much color with Asti Santi. If you go to other dhatus, you know, then there is some instrument kind of qualification possible. Fast, slow, things like that. Okay. Rama Lakshmanau Dhirau Shurau Cha Astam. So see here Dvivachana usage. Okay. Rama and Lakshmana and our beautiful Hanuman is also there by their side. Somebody has such a beautiful sketch. Just love this. Rama Lakshmanau Dhirau Shurau Cha Astam. So Asti Saha Santi Astam. Okay. They are. This is lung. Khatam Astam. Khatam doesn't change its color regardless of Bahuvachana, Ekavachana. It's like an invariant thing. Okay, only what we are seeing is Makara and Bindu according to the needs. Asti will make a Makara, Santi will make a Bindu, like that. Okay, and then Yuddha Kalaha Bhikaraha Bhavati. So again, Bhavati is not too different from Asti or Santi. So this is also bringing more like the Kartas Visheshana into picture. Yuddha Kalaha Bhikaraha Asti. So it is very severe, very bhaya. Bhi is bhaya. Bhi is fear. So Bhikaraha means that which is fear inducing. So the war is fear inducing, no doubt. Katham bhavati. Pariksha sulabha eva bhavishyati. Let us pray to Lakshmi. Pariksha sulabha eva bhavet iti prarthayami. Katham bhavishyati sulabha eva bhavishyati. Why sulabha? Because pariksha is strilinga. So sulabha. Go with her. Okay. Okay, so as the next portion of this teaching, they're showing us about how to join the letters. So let us see what they have to say in this part. If any consonant of a particular group is placed in front of an anuswara, then the anuswara is replaced by the fifth letter of the respective group. This is actually called anunasika sandhi. Okay, this is called anunasika sandhi. It comes under consonant sandhis, and it comes in the third level for you. You're going to be taught this more formally there with lot of examples, but at a very early stage, because this mistake is done a lot when you move from Hindi version or even Kannada, for example. We don't do this anuswara sandhi at all. We just keep using our zero, which is the equivalent of the anuswara bindu everywhere in Kannada. There are places where you should replace it with the fifth column letter of the varga. Okay, it's not done in Kannada, it's not done in Hindi either. So, but Sanskritam is very critical about it. Okay, so that's what they're talking about here. Anuswaraha, that is the dot above the letter, plus Vargiya Vyanjanam will become Prathamaksharam plus Vargiya Vyanjanam. Like Panchamaksharam plus, sorry, Panchamaksharam plus Vargiya Vyanjanam. So Anuswara switches to the nasal Vargiya letter, like Ka, Ka, Ga, Ga, Nga. That Nga will substitute Anuswara. Cha, Cha, Ja, Ja, Nya. Nya will substitute Anuswara. Okay. Ta, Tha, Da, Da, Na will substitute. Ta, tha, da, da, na will substitute anuswara for that group. Okay. Pa, pa, ba, bha, ma will substitute for that group. Okay. So the Vargiya Vyanjana, whatever group it belongs to, the fifth column of that guy will come in place of anuswara, is the patha for us. So kam plus kanam, this is within a word, of course. Kang kanam. So we cannot write simply by cutting space and putting bindu on top. We have to switch this anuswara to the, because kakara is a kavarga letter, so we have to go nga, ka, ka, ga, gha, nga. So kankanam pronunciation also tracks the kakara's kantastha pronunciation, kankanam, like that. Okay, so that's why we write it like this and pronounce it like that, kankanam. So in these examples, there is a consonant of ka group in front of anuswara, hence the fifth letter ng of kavarga replaces anuswara. Therefore, it should be written as kankanam, like that. Somebody unmuted. Is there a question, Bagini? Lata Bagini? No, no. Okay.
By mistake,
No,
sorry.
no problem. No problem. I muted you. Because when I see, whenever you unmute, I get a kind of notice of that in my ear, so I need to pay attention. Learn carefully the following table for better understanding. Example, the letter in the front of Anuswara, the fifth letter, the final formation. So they have shown many progressions. So gam plus ga, ganga. So we write ganga like this in Sanskritam, not like ganga of that variety. In Kannada also we write like this, no? We put ga, zero, ga in our own letters, of course, but we don't write like this. It's very difficult to write like this in Kannada also. Nobody almost um, is familiar with the fifth column letters anymore, especially of the first two vargas, kavarga and chavarga. Okay. Yeah. But Sanskritam is very precise. Ganga, like that. Similarly, sanchika. So that anuswara will go to cha cha ja ja nya. So sanchika, sanchika, like that. See this one. Okay. Sanchika. This is the fifth. Kantakam. So takara. So nakara will have to come. So nakara. Kantakam. See, it won't be kantakam, kaitakam, karnatakam. Kantakam comes to the mouth naturally. Along with takara, nakara is the nasika that will accompany. Kantakam. Antaha. Okay. Takara, tavarga. So nakara has to come. Antaha. See, nakara has to come. Antaha. Okay. Then amba. Amba, mother. So amba, makara. Bak, papa, ba, bha, ma. So ma is used. Amba. Like that. Okay. Beautiful. I like this exacting requirement that the Panchamakshara is used in the compound. Okay. Ganga, Sanchika, Kantakam, Antaha, Amba even makes the pronunciation very precise. Okay. Some more examples. Tam plus kanam, tankanam, tankanam. Then plus chalam, anchalam. Okay, tankanam means is to type. These words we knew, no? Ganga is the river name. Sanchika means a publication out of a lot. One out of a lot is called Sanchika, like a weekly release of a magazine or something like that. And then Kantakam is like some thorn type of thing or some obstacle. Then Antaha inside, Amba, of course, we know, all of us. No need to define that. We start saying that word as we are born. Then Tankanam is typing. Okay, or actually it is to do mudra, tongue, like that, to do a seal. But now it is carried forward to mean to type. Tankanam. So to produce a mark, takara is added to ankanam to make it as producing a mark. Also in the olden days, the tongue sound used to come probably when they did the seal. Anyway, anchalam, this is the edge of a sari. The border of a dress is called anchalam. Actually, that's why Himachal, Anchal. Actually, it is not Achal. Achal is the apabramsha of Anchal. Himanchalam should have been the name, or Himanchala, something like that, if it was Himanchalaha Parvata. Anyway, so this edge, that snowy edge, is like a sari border. It's to be seen to be believed. It's one of the most beautiful sights. You must make time in your life to go to the beautiful areas of Himachal, Uttaranchal, and other places. And if possible, Kashmir, which I haven't gone to. Hope to go one day. Then Sam plus Geetam, Sangeetam. See, Sangeetam, music. Sangeetam. So Samyak Geetam, that which is sung well. Only then it is Sangeeta. Otherwise it is Apaswara Geeta. Andaha. So Nakara. Andaha. Blind fella. Sambandaha. Two switches. Sam plus Ba becomes Makara. Samba. Then Bam plus Daha. Bandaha. Okay. Ta ta da da na. Nakara. See? Ma na. Two different switches. Sambandaha. Nice word. Okay. Samdhyam gam. Sandhyangam. Oh, Paninian term. What is this? Okay. Sandhi angam. Sandhyangam. End sandhi is there. Sandhi means joining of two words. Angam means part of such a action. Sandhyangam is one part of a sandhi. One of the letters of the sandhi is called Sandhyangam. Very nice. Sandhyangam. It's a Paninian title. So mandam, slowly. Sangaha. See, they use the dot on top for the nasal N to indicate first group. Okay, Sangaha, Sangaha. Then for the second group, they use the tilde on top, that vowel on top of the N. So Chanchalaha, Chanchalaha. Okay. Then Nandanaha. Nandanaha, no the dirgha. Nandanaha. Better to not read the English almost. I think they are forcing this because some things may come in English, or you're just preparing yourself how to read it. But those of us who use English medium to learn Sanskrit are at a loss. Actually, it will be much more easy to come from Kannada or Hindi into Sanskritam. Anyway, Nandanaha. So, one who pleases Krishna. Actually, his father's name is also that one. Devaki Nandana is his name. One who pleases Devaki. All right. Kampaha. Okay. Kampaha means some kind of a shake, vibration. Okay. Anukampaha means sympathetic shape, resonating shake, which means kindness. When our mind resonates with somebody else's bhava, we call it anukampa, because we align with their bhava and show kindness to them. Ankani, okay, this is a one that does a mark. Ankanam means anka here means a kind of a mark or a sign. So Ankani is she who does that mark. Ankani, marker, pencil. Abhyasah. Write the following words in Devanagari following the above rule. So you guys need to do this, guys. I will just show you. Kankatam, Sri Gandaha. See Nakara. Sri Gandaha. Okay. Then santaha, sorry, no a there, santaha. So nakara will come with ta ta da dana. So santaha. Then champakam. So champa. So pakara. So papa baba ma. So halanta makara will come. So champakam will go like that. Champakam. Of course, this padante makaraha eva. Natu anuswara binduhu. That we have seen in another place. Champakam. Then bandhanam. Okay, bandhanam like that. Okay, so nakara dhakara ta 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 dha na, so bandhanam. Sanchinoti, they already given the clue, it is the tilde, right? So because of the tilde it is the second group end, that is nya. So sanchinoti, cha cha ja ja nya. So sanchinoti. What does sanchinoti means? Chinoti means selects, somebody selects. Okay, sanchinoti means somebody selects properly. Okay, so for example, chatraha uttaram sanchinoti. So, the student selects a letter properly, something like that. Selects something properly. Uttaram, yeah, answer properly. All right. Kankatam means that which is worn in the hand, right? That is that. Srigandaha, we know it is the sandal wood or sandal paste. Okay, then Santaha, a holy fella. Champakam, the beautiful flower. Champaka, I collected a couple today. They smell brilliant. This is the season for them. Okay, it's a tree flower. Bandhanam, binding. Sanchinoti selects properly. Rewrite the following words according to the above rule. So mistakes are there. This kind of questions are likely will come in the exam. Sangaha. So ka kha ga gha nga. So this is from the kantastha nga has to be put, not the bindu. Sangaha. So we go sangaha like that. Okay, top and bottom like that. Sometimes the font styling is correct in the way we use. Sometimes at least the font I use is fairly good. So most places it has constructed correctly. Some places when it's not able to stack it, it puts a halanta and then goes next column. It looks bad if you use that way. Try to do this compound because you're going to do handwritten answers. Sampat. So pakara. So what will come? Pa pa ba bha ma. Ma will come. Sampat. Okay. Shanka, doubt. What will come? Nga again because kakara. So Shanka. We have Shanka Chakra Gada Haste. We just saw this. Then Anjanam. See Jakara. Cha cha ja ja nya. So nya will come. So we have to go Anjanam. Anjana. Anjanam. Anjanam means the paste that we apply to eyes and injuries and things like that. Yeah. Bandaha. So nakara. Ta ta da dha na. So bandaha like that. Shimba. I have to search what is the meaning of Shimba. Okay, Shimba Makara. Okay. All right. So Subhashitam. Let's just finish off this lesson, guys. Huh? So because afternoon I want to start the new lesson after the break. So let's see the Subhashitam. छायामन्यस्य कुर्वन्ति तिष्ठन्ति स्वयमातपे पलायन्ति परार्थाय not palayanti, sorry, phalayanti. Palayanti would make complete apabhramsha. I am sorry. Phalayanti pararthaya vrikshaha satpurusha iva. Punah छायामन्यस्य कुर्वन्ति तिष्ठन्ति स्वयमातपे phalayanti pararthaya vrikshaha satpurusha iva. This is a lopa actually. Satpurushaha iva. There is a lopa sandhi. Anyway, so chayam anyasya kurvanti. One phrase. Tishtanti swayam atape. In both places there is no sandhi. There is only a samyuktakshara. Chayam halantamakara joining the anyasya. There is no vikara. So because there is no varna vikara, there is no sandhi. It's only a samyoga. So chayam anyasya kurvanti. They do the shade of another. That means they give shade to another. Okay. Tishtanti swayam atape. Atapaha is the surya jwala. The rays of the sun, because it produces the heat in us. the infrared component. So that's called atapa. Okay, tapati, tapati iti atapa, atapam. Okay, that which does the tapana kriya in us, heat in us. Swayam atape tishtanti, they stand themselves in the heat of the sun. Saptami, atape, in the heat of the sun. Phalayanti, again I made the mistake. Phalayanti, see this phalanyapi. Sorry, my bad. I don't know why phalayanti I'm reading, such bad reading. Phalani api. Okay, end sandhi again, e plus a ya. So phalani api, and fruits, and also fruits. Pararthaya. Okay. Actually, phalantyapi pararthaya would have been good, but anyway, they use phalani api pararthaya. That means their fruits. So the phalani is tesham phalani. We have to read it like that. Tesham phalani, vrikshanam phalani api pararthaya, for the sake of others. There is a little selfishness there. Of course, it hopes that the seed will be carefully planted somewhere for another offspring to come. Today we think it is only for us anyway. So vrikshaha satpurushaha iva. The trees indeed are like noble people. Like that is the saying. Chayamanyasya kurvanti tishtanti swayamatape phalanyapi pararthaya vrikshaha satpurusha iva. Trees stand in the sun and give a shade to others. Their fruits are also for others. Likewise, good people bear all hardship and bring welfare to others. They give to others whatever they have earned, and then the trees get cut by the people. There is some moral there. Chayam anyasya kurvanti tishtanti swayam atape phalani api pararthaya vrikshaha satpurushaha iva. So this is just sandhi break, some yoga break of whatever is there, so that it's slightly easier to understand. Where is this from is interesting for us, right? I was able to trace the source. Vikramacharitam Kumara Pala Prabandham Jaina Grantha. So this saying, this verse comes to us from a Jaina Paddhati. Lot of Jaina works are actually in Sanskritam. Okay, they have done tremendous contribution to the Vangmaya of Sanskritam. Okay, so it is from one of their Prabandhas. Kumarapala Prabandham is the creation name, and the Vikramacharitam, I don't know, maybe it's a sub story of Kumarapala Prabandham, because Prabandham insert a collection of stories. Maybe Vikramacharitam is one of the things there. It's interesting. So Vikramacharitam, I don't know whether this Vikrama that comes from their Paddhati. That's interesting. I don't know which Vikrama. It may be different Vikrama. Anyway. वृक्षाः स्वयं आतपे तिष्ठन्ति परन्तु ते छायाम् अन्यस्य कृते कुर्वन्ति अपि च तेषां फलानि तु परार्थाय एव भवन्ति यथा वृक्षाः तथा सत्पुरुषाः अपि निस्वार्थिनः परोपकारिणः च वर्तन्ते इति कवेः भावः. So this is, somebody asks you write the tatparya for the verse, and they won't be asking you at this level. This kind of, you have to simplify it, put here and there if needed in other words. If not needed, just stick to the straightforward meaning. Already it's a fairly easy verse. So then here give the moral a little bit more extended. Why vrikshas are like satpurusha? So because yatha, actually it is not vrikshaha satpurushaha iva. We should read it as satpurushaha vrikshaha iva. Who is the teacher? Vriksha is the teacher to us. They were there before us. So yata vrikshaha tata satpurushaha api nisvartinah paropakarinah chah bhavitavyaha iti. They should become like that, but vartante iti. They are there like that. Iti kavehe bhavaha is the mood of the kavi, or basically the teaching of the kavi, the inclination of the kavi to tell us. Actually, I have pulled this from the Jaina Grantha. You see here, Charitam tava pashana shlaghaniyam satamapi dagdva yenagninaatmanam datto rangah paranane छायामन्यस्य कुर्वन्ति स्वयं तिष्ठन्ति चातपे फलन्ति च परस्यार्थे नान्मोहतोर्महाद्रुमाः. Slight variant, you see this? See, the second half is a good variation. Palanti cha parasyarte, similar meaning to palantyapi pararthaya. Okay, here na atma hetoho mahadrumaha. The great trees are not selfish. Hetu means reason, right? Atma hetu means reason for oneself. That means selfishness. So they are not selfish. Is druma is a beautiful alternate word for vriksha. I like this even more colorful. Chayamanyasya kurvanti swayam tishtanti achatape. That is little variation of the first one. Palanti cha parasyarthe nan natma hetor mahadrumaha. Beautiful. Here this you see. Charitram tava pashana shlaghaniyam satamapi dagdva yenagninaatmanam datto rangah paranane. What is the meaning of this? Let us analyze. Charitram tava pashana. Hey, you stone. Actually, pashana can be some variant of stone. Maybe here it is limestone. I am reading it as limestone because I am reading the meaning of the second half a little bit. Okay. What a beautiful, colorful story is yours. Hey, you limestone. Shlaganiyam satamapi. You are to be appreciated by even the saints. Dagdva yena agnina atmanam. If you know a limestone, if you add water to it, it heats up, right? It heats itself up and powders itself, right? Those of you who come from enough ancient time when you saw your house being painted using the chuna, right, will know this. Dagdva yena agnina atmanam. By setting fire to yourself, burning yourself, datto rangah paranane. In the mouth of another you gave color. Nice. Mukhe anane. That means in the face of another. That means a house face or something like that. Beautiful. I like the first verse also. I mean, I have never seen anybody describe a mere chuna in such beautiful, colorful way. Shows the reverence people had for the things that were available to them. Okay, so with that we come to the end of the Shashtaha Pataha. Let us do a few exercises quickly. So translate the following sentences into Sanskrit. Okay, let me unmute someone to help us. Latha, normal Latha, not Sundar Raj Latha. I will bring Sundar Raj Latha next. Normal Latha, that is Latha only. Okay, she unmuted. So
Yeah.
Rama will go to town tomorrow. Say Bagini.
I'm
Bagini, try. Don't give up.
Rama.
Rama, huh?
Ramaha.
Town is what?
Huh?
Town.
Town. Nagaram.
Nagaram. You see, you know it. Ramaha Nagaram.
Nagaram.
Will go tomorrow.
Will go is future tense. So I'm not very sure.
Gachati is present tense. Gachati is present tense. Future tense is Ishya. You have to add.
Gachami.
No, Gamishyati.
Gamishyati.
Then tomorrow, what is the word for tomorrow? Correct. You're getting it.
Yes,
Half there. Shwaha. Very good.
Swaha.
Not swa. Shwaha. Shakara.
Swaha.
So Ramaha. Shwaha, our order is different in Sanskritam. Ramaha Shwaha Nagaram Gamishyati. Well done. Ramaha Shwaha Nagaram Gamishyati. So one more you try, Bagini. He will be happy tomorrow by giving away a gift. You are game for this?
No, it's difficult.
Okay.
It's very
Take rest. Let's bring Latha Sundararajan into picture.
Yes,
Bagini, you get the tough one. The other Latha has given you the tougher one. Yeah.
Okay. He will be happy tomorrow by giving away a gift. Saha. Tomorrow is Shwaha.
Shwaha. Saha Shwaha. We got 2 words out.
Words. Happy Santoshaha. Santosham.
Santushtaha. Qualifying.
Okay. Santushtaka Bhavishyati. Maybe
Santushtaha
giving
Bhavishyati. Kena.
tomorrow. Okay. Kena by giving away a gift. Gift. What is gift?
Upaharah. Upaharam iti vada.
Okay.
Sorry. Upaharam is not the word.
Danam.
Danam, but Danam is it's not like a gift. What do you do? Paritoshaka. Paritoshakam. Okay. Paritoshakam. By giving away. Paritoshakam.
Tritiya Vibhakti.
That Twanta will come here. Okay.
Okay.
Or Paritoshakena also can be said.
Paritoshakena Santushtam Anubhavish.
But Paritoshakena gives the sense he will receive it. Here he is giving it away. Okay. Paritoshakasya danena. Okay. Paritoshakasya danena. Like that we have to go. Tritiya, but for giving. So danena. So Paritoshakasya danena saha shwaha santushtaha bhavati. Bhavishyati. Kshamyatam. Bhavishyati. You said it. Well done.
Santosham Anubhavishyati.
Anubhavishyati. Very good. See, many ways. Anubhavishyati is very nice. Saha shwaha upayanam. Upayanam is another word for paritoshakam. Paritoshakam is more like a prize. Upayanam is more like a gift. Okay. I was upahara. I was coming to it. Was upayana. Okay. So saha shwaha upayanam dattva. So this is tvanta have used. Upayanam. Upayana danena, upayanasya danena, athava upayana danena also can be used in tritiya sense. Dattva is another technique having given. Santushyati. So santosham anubhavati can be shortened to santushyati. Directly using the tush dhatu. Happiness dhatu.
Santushyati. Okay.
Nice. So one more you try. I will not come next year.
Aham agami varshe na agamishyami.
Wow, 100% perfect. Aham agami varshe अथवा संवत्सरे न आगमिष्यामि तथा मा करोतु पुनः आगच्छतु.
धन्यवादः.
Well done भगिनी. So let's invite Neelima Divekar varye. Neelima varye. Try madam. She will be going to Delhi by flight.
Sa Delhi Vimanena going
Gam dhatu.
Agamish
Going. You're close, but no Gamishyati. Because she'll be coming. She'll be coming to Delhi by flight, then Agamishyati has to be used. Okay. She'll be going from somewhere else. So Sa Dehalim Nagaram athva Dehalim. Perfect. Dehalim Bimanena Gamishyati. Well done, Bhagini. So Vayu Yanena, I have used Vayu Yanam instead of Imam, but Delhi Nagaram I have used instead of Dehalim, because sometimes if you are confused about the declining, how Delhi can be declined, just stick Nagara in there and you are simplifying. Okay, Delhi Nagaram, this kind of technique is there always for us. Okay, same way somebody's name, if you don't know how to decline, use Arya as the attachment to them, right? Suppose I don't know how to decline, let us say, Nilima Varya's name. So Nilima Arya, Nilima Arya, like that. So we can go. Arya is the Strilinga. So Akaranta. Nilima is already Akaranta. It's not required, but it's a technique available. Okay. Next, God.
Can we put Dehli Nagre here instead of
Nagaram? It is a target of going. So it cannot be in the Nagara. Delhi Nagaram, it's the karma, target of the Gamana, right?
Okay.
Gamananantaram nagare vasati. Parantu gamanam tu nagaram prati. Towards the nagara. So nagaram iti karma pada. Asti va? Astu va? Huh. So Bhagini, one more for you, Nilima. God blesses the devotee with a boon.
Devaha
Hmm.
Bhaktam. Devaha Bhaktam.
Devaha
Ashisham.
Huh.
Ashisham.
What is boon in Sanskritam?
Ashisham nasti.
Vara. See,
Vara.
Varade, we pray to Saraswati as Varade, hey Varade. That means Varada, Varam dadati sa iti Varade, na Vara, Varam dadatu, like that. Okay, so Varam. So okay, so Devaha
Devaha
Bhaktam,
Bhaktam. Varam.
but with a boon, with we have to go Tritiya, Vara.
Varena.
Varena Ashishati, correct. Okay. Varena Varam Dadati. Also we can go if you want.
Varam.
But because blessing is there, we have to go Ashir Bhava. So Ashishati, something like that. Let's see what I have.
But here
Ashishyati.
no
Okay. The
future tense here.
will future tense has to be used. So Ashishyati instead of Ashishati.
Ashishati.
Devaha Bhaktam Varena Ashishyati Anugrahishyati. This is also
Anugrahishyati.
this is Anugraha also can be Anugrahishyati. Good. Good, Bhagini. Thanks. So, guys, we don't have too much time left to do the other exercises. So, I'll just quickly open it up. We can learn from that. People will not appreciate you hereafter. First, let me myself play the student. Janaha hereafter idani adyanantaram adya anantaram after now. Okay. Appreciate shlagha dhatu, right? Shlaghishyanti na shlaghishyanti. So adya arabhya or adyanantaram, like that, na shlagishyanti, something like that. Itaha param. Okay, this is better. Okay. Janaha tvam. Okay, you I didn't bring in. Tvam in karma position. Janaha karta position. Tvam you in karma position. Itah param or itah param after now. After now. Na shlagishyante. Oh, shlaga is atmanepadi dhatu. Shlagishyante will not appreciate. Okay, good. Janaha tvam itah param na shlagishyante. Farmer will make the mat using straws. So farmer is krishi valaha or krishikaha, both can be used. Okay. Mat is what do you say mat?
Kataha?
Pataha is
It is
cloth.
kataha, no?
Kataha can be used. Correct.
Yes.
Kataha can be used. Okay. Katam. So karma. So katam. Straws can be ghasamva. Straws can be
Trina?
trina, which is ghasa only, but trina is the correct word for straw. Trinena, using straws. So krishikaha katam trinena karoti nirmati, make. So nirmati is better. Okay, let's see what I have. Krishi valaha instead of krishikaha. Trinaihi. Okay. Trinena is one straw he won't use. Trinaihi is correct translation. So many straws. Trinaihi katam sajji karishyati nirmasyati. Okay. Future tense. I forgot that. So nirmasyati instead of nirmati, nirmasyati or sajji karishyati. Nice. I will make sentences with words. Aham padaihi vakyani nirmasyami. Okay, nirmasyami, using the same nirmasyati. Okay, so aham padaihi vakyani rachayishyami nirmasyami, like this, guys. Okay. Believe me, I mean, we will get about 60-70% of it. We won't know where we are going wrong. You can come back and check against the book answers. I also provided some, so you can check against those. There are few variant ways to say the same thing, so you can try those. But you have to use future tense if it is asked for. But generally in the final exam, they won't ask like that. They will give a sentence in future tense and you know to use the future tense accurately. You have to do the reading that this is in future tense, this is in present tense, and do the correct tense in the Kriya Pada. Okay. So few more questions are there. Vyagraha kaihi sancharati. So padam padaha padaihi, like that. But padbihi, but only people walk on 2 feet. So we have to go padaihi, something like that. Okay. Padaihi. Sakshamitam. Padaihi. Padaha. Uh, Padbyam is Padabhyam is only for people, 2-feeted fellas. Padabhyam. So because we have to go Bahuvachana, we have to go Padaihi. Vyagraha Padaihi Sancharati. So Manavaha Kabhyam Chalati, Strilinga Pada. So here Padbyam, like that. Okay. Padabhyam, sorry. Padabhyam Chalati. Kabhyam iti asti. Kebhyam. कः कौ केकं कौकान् केन काभ्याम, हाँ पुल्लिंग काभ्याम ओनली, केन काभ्याम कैः, काभ्याम करेक्ट, पदाभ्याम चलति, द्विवचन हियर. रावणः कैः युद्धम् अकरोत्. So we have to, the important thing what is the question series is you have to notice the prashnarthaka shabdas, linga and vachana, and track the answer correctly. Okay, that is the trick. Okay, it will take some learning before we can get there, but this is a good exercise. Ravanaha kaihi yuddham akarot, banaihi yuddham akarot, like that, right? Shastraihi, hastaihi, banaihi. You are free to give different answers as long as it's a pullinga and bahuvachana tritiya. Okay. Hastaihi, he has lot of hands. Here kadgena in the picture. My God, 10 heads are stacked more colorfully than we normally see. Okay, and different colors also. Manavaha kabhyam karyam karoti. Hastabhyam karyam karoti. Something like that. Dvabhyam hastabhyam. Dvabhyam is not needed. Hastabhyam karyam karoti. It's already 2, so no need to assert that. Manavaha kena vadati. What is the thing? Mukha. Mukhena vadanena. Mukhena vadati. Vadanena mukhena vadati. Very good. Brahma kaihi vedam ucharayati. Kaihi.
Mukhahi.
Mukaihi. Brahma is the only fellow with more than one mukha. So mukaihi vedam ucharayati. That's why chaturmukha Brahma. Okay. In fact, we use this chaturmukha as a prefix to Brahma to distinguish from the Brahman that we use for what you call Nirguna Brahma, one who is not having any manifested form. Okay, the Vedic Brahma is different from this Chaturmukha Puranic Brahma. But I like this Puranic Brahma. You see, if we don't have iconification like this, what art do we create? Now the artist, you see this art, how beautiful. Brahma Chaturbhihi Mukhaihi Vedam Ucharayati. All right. Janaha Kabhyam Pashyanti Nayanam Nayanabhyam could be one way, right? So Nayanabhyam Netrabhyam Akshi Shabda is Strilinga maybe, so you have to be a little careful how to decline it. Anyway, so we got 2 answers there. Shivaha Kaihi Pashyati. Shivaha, how many eyes he has? 3 eyes. So plural. Net Nayanaihi Netraihi. Tribihi Netraihi. With his 3 eyes. Manmatham Pashyati. If he looks at us that way, we are gone. Manmatham Tatha Pashyati, because he was doing all. You see this Chandamama's painting by artist Vapa. I don't know what Vapa stands for. So he's a brilliant artist. So here Parvati, under the instruction of her father and Narada, she is going there to distract Shiva from the tapas so that she can, become his wife. He may be attracted so that a son may be born, and the son Kumara Sambhavam, right? So the son may kill Tarak Asura and all that story is there, right? So here we Shiva is being distracted by Manmata, but to his own misfortune. That's it. He is Bhasma after that. Okay. Nice story. So how many plays has Bhatha composed? 13. We know that. Name Udayana's minister, Yaugandarayana. We know that. Remember, what false news did minister spread? That he, you can answer in English, that that the queen died in a fire in a certain place. I forgot the name of the place. Okay.
Lavanaka.
Lavanaka. Very good. Lavanake. Very good. So like this. How are the trees comparable to noble people? We know Swayam Atape Tishtva Te Anyaihi Chayam Dasyanti. Apicha Te Anyesham Krute Phalani Dasyanti. Ataha Te Satpurushaha Iva Anyesham Krute Eva Tesham Jivanam Bhavati. Like this. Of course, you have to say in English. It's not so harsh as saying all that in Sanskritam. Very easy in English. So with that, we will call it a very extended day. I took 2 hours. I'm sorry. Afternoon, we'll gather and start off lesson 7, guys. Okay. Have a nice lunch break, a little bit of rest, and see you in the afternoon. Okay.
Mahoday, a
Mahodaya.
request here.
Yes.
I missed those 2 slides prior to this. Will you display them once again?
Bagini, I share a video anyway of this
Okay,
recording. You will get you'll get the chance to view it all leisurely. No worry. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, everything is from the book. You don't worry. Okay. You have access to the video always.
Okay, thanks.
So we will gather back at 3 o'clock. So come back in good numbers. See you. Have a nice lunch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.